Has anybody heard any more news about Gene Hackman and
Oh,
that
I was going to talk about
mysterious
that a little bit.
family death?
Yeah, we can talk about that before we get into the Epstein stuff. The Gene Hackman shit is wild. Did you hear the news shit that there was pills all over the
I heard
place?
that.
Well,
Yeah.
Look, there's so many variables to this yet, and we don't know exactly everything, but we know some things for a fact.
Sounds
Now-
like he died and she killed herself.
I don't know if I'd go to that extent yet. It seems like there's some sort of event, whether it may not have been gas that they're saying, but something doesn't add up.
Yeah,
Because-
the dog confuses.
Yeah,
me.
because the dog being left in the crate is the real confusing part. And that the other two dogs were out roaming around, and that's the thing is there's no way to say if they were left outside or if they were left in the house, because there is a doggy door that went both ways, I guess. So like
The dogs
those
were
two
not
dogs
eating
were
them.
and the dogs were left to be able to free roam the premises. So like the other one was probably being crated up because it was probably being trained. And I don't think somebody would commit suicide if they're an animal lover like they're supposed to be and just leave their animals in there. The most up part is that they were there for almost 2 weeks before anybody noticed.
Yeah.
See, that to me bothers me the most, this whole thing in this equation, beyond just the obviousness of what the happened.
Oh, apparently the two
is this
daughters
true?
were out smiling and at lunch or something the next day.
Is
as
this
well.
true? Solo Felix for two?
No, she's just when Macron she was Macron's teacher, and they just have a massive age gap. That's
Okay.
They're not. She's not. No,
Yeah, after Big Mike, I don't know.
she's not. Yeah, no, she's not Michelle Obama.
Oh God.
Big Mike.
Big
Yeah,
Mike.
the
And then-
Gene Hackman thing is
And
strange.
then I
There's
see
so
some
much
people
weird
saying
shit.
suicide pack in the chat. Look, here's the thing I hear about that doesn't add up is,
I don't think
that
he did.
the
I think
wife
maybe she didn't want to
supposedly was
live
the
without
one-
him.
well, that may be, but at the same time, there was like a bunch of stuff that she was the one that was in charge of his estate until she died. And she had already been starting to do a bunch of his stuff for his, because I mean, obviously the dude's 97 years old. So she had already started. So it's not like she wasn't getting prepared for this already. So there's a lot of variables in this that don't add up. And until we get the reports from the coroner's office, I don't think we're going to know a lot about what happened. The only thing we do know is when Gene died because of his pacemaker. That's the only thing we know right now, other than they didn't find any carbon monoxide poisoning. That was the other thing that they've said so far. Other than that, it's still open and suspicious. They still don't suspect any foul play. But the situation was, it looks like Gene died in the doorway coming into the house because he was on like a porch, which they call a mudroom. And just like adjacent from that is where she was in the bathroom with the door open, because the guy who discovered them, if you hear the 911 call, he can see them both from the window.
Yeah.
And so she was lying on the floor next to a heater with pills scattered all over. Who's to say that Gene didn't say, honey, I'm not feeling good, something's not right, and she went to go get pills for him, and maybe they ate something bad, maybe they were exposed to something, we don't know. Maybe they had just come in from outside. We won't know until we get the toxicology report. And she fell over, and it sounds like from her, she actually hit her head, it sounds like, badly. But it also, the mummification of her body sounds like it was probably because she was so close to a heater that was running. So that's the other thing.
Mm.
And-
It would dry
and so-
you out.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
and they both were there for 10 days, and they don't know exactly when she died yet, but they're assuming that they both died around the same time, basically.
Yeah,
Wow, that'd be so terrible if like he collapses at the door, she runs to get pills, she slips and hits her head. And
That's what I
dies.
was thinking happened, actually. That's the most likely scenario.
What a
What a
horrible
crazy-
sequence of
But
events.
then what about
Yeah.
the dog? But
Well,
then
the
it's
dog-
That's what I mean. The dog was in the crate because they were training it, and that's why I don't believe in the suicide pact, because otherwise, why would she just leave a dog to die? Like, that makes no
True.
sense.
I didn't think about that, Tom. Yeah, that's a good point. That sucks.
But it's
the
just
dog pissed on the
explained. Like
carpet too many times.
I think the most likely scenario is he got something was wrong with him. He fell over, or as he was saying, "Go get me my pills" or something. She went into the bathroom, and if there was a heater there and it fell over on the floor from on top of the counter, if there was any water on the floor, it would have been dried by the end of the night before anybody would have noticed. So again, if she fell and hit her head, that makes most sense. Having the bottles in her hand, pills in her hand, and it flew all over the place. Because there's other people thinking, oh, the dogs got into the pills and that's why they died. No, the dog died in the crate. We don't have any specifics on how the dog died yet either, but I think that's also going to be a big factor in this because
People in the
yeah.
chat talking about Suicide Pact. If you know Gene Hackman was afraid of death. I don't think he's going to kill himself.
When he's 96 years old. Why?
Yeah, but there's like interviews out there of him talking about him being afraid of death. I just don't see him taking his own life.
Put your tinfoil hat on for a second, and anything to do with Epstein list?
No, and there's some other people bringing that up, and I don't think so.
No,
Gene was one of those guys that was very outside of the Hollywood system, and as soon
Yeah.
as he retired, he got the up out of there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he left. Yeah, it's not Gene Hackman. I don't see that with him.
What's his best movie, do you reckon?
Superman.
God.
Oh, dude.
Well,
it's
I
too
mean, what do you
late
mean
now.
by like as far as his performances, his films or movies that he's in?
My,
'Cause, like,
fa-
yeah,
my,
I mean,
my favorite movie with him is Superman.
Yeah.
I mean,
He was the
my
greatest
Lex
criminal
Luthor.
mind of our time.
You gotta think for
Mine,
land.
mine was Crimson Tide.
Lex Luthor, ruler of
I always
Australia.
love- Why do you say these things to me when you know I'll kill you for it? I said you're right.
It's a good one,
I gave
too.
you Superman's address. Anyway, no, I love him in that, but I would have to say the French
Enemy of
Connection.
the State was
French
pretty
Connection.
good.
Enemy of the State's good too, but French
French
Connection
Convention's
is.
a great movie. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean he's great.
He's
in
got
that.
he has a great list of movies, but my favorite will always be Superman. Love
And I
Superman.
love him as Little
Superman
Bill
1
in
and
Unforgiven
2.
as well.
Fantastic.
And Little Bill in Unforgiven is great as
That
well
was good
too.
too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Unforgiven's a great movie.
I don't deserve this.
Miss
Deserves got
Tessmacher!
nothing to
Had
do with
nothing
it.
to do with it. Yeah.
Miss Tessmacher!
Replacements. He was actually really good in Replacements.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the
When I
Keanu
was-
Reeves movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want you to go get me
He
the
was
ball.
a coach.
Falco.
I got your
Right.
ball, coach. John
All I
Favreau, his
remember
nose
was-
broke.
Footstep Falco.
Oh,
All I remember are the
Hoosier.
cheerleaders.
Yeah, great. People are listing some great movies in there.
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
got. I mean,
Get
dude was
Shorty.
in so many great films, right? I mean,
I forgot.
and he was never even actually like a movie star, not like a guy who would like a Schwarzenegger, or Stallone.
He was sort of that supporting.
He
really
was always
good
a
actor.
heavy. He always played the heavy, and I was trying to make the argument that he was probably one of the greatest character actors of all time.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you just as soon as he comes on the screen, he commanded it. I mean, he never was always like outside of Hoosiers and the French Connection and a few in the Conversation. He was never like a big, huge movie star, like the main draw, but like being there always meant something. And he's great in everything he
put him in
did.
the same category as I put like John Lithgow. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
you know what I mean? Like they're not leading
I
men.
can't believe that casting for him as Dumbledore is controversial. Like John Lithgow is a great
That's a
actor.
great choice.
I
That's a
think
great.
people
Yeah.
are worried because of how old he is, and they're afraid the same thing is going to happen that happened with the other
Well,
actor.
then they'll recast. But for now, it's great casting. It's an
And I
old
get it.
character. Like you have to get an older person to like play that character. You don't get a young guy to play Dumbledore.
Right.
So I mean, if that happens, it happens. But hopefully, it doesn't happen. It should be an older guy that plays him, 100%. And that's a great casting for that.
Oh,
role.
they're also upset that he's not British. I guess they're
Gives
saying
a-
too. That's true.
Well,
cares.
yeah,
I mean,
he
he
does.
does-
He's
thick
done a
accent.
British accent before.
Yes. He's very good. Cliffhanger. He was great at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Where's my money?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude,
Didn't
that's
even
such
think
an
about
underrated
that.
movie, man.
Oh,
If you're not
yes.
from Britain, like
Die
if you're
Hard
an
on the
American
Mountain?
saying,
hell
he's,
yeah,
why isn't he British? Who cares? Like, why are you bitching about that?
it's John Lithgow.
You know, that dude, he's been in some great flicks.
You know
What's
he
that
was
movie?
almost Doc Brown.
I didn't know
I
that.
can see
Yeah,
that.
he came a nuts hairs close to being Doc Brown.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's that name of that movie with him and Denzel? An old movie.
Oh,
what I'm talking about?
Talking about,
Crimson Tide.
yeah, Crimson
No.
Tide. Well, I mean, what else are they in?
He played a villain. Like Denzel was a cop that put him
Ricochet.
away.
Ricochet. It's one of those. It's a
Ricochet,
great
yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
I haven't
That's a
heard of that
great
one. I'm
movie.
gonna go look for that.
And for
Yeah,
some,
he's
that
up in that
movie has
movie, like,
not been
sets him up.
released on DVD or Blu-ray. I don't think.
That's weird.
It's on DVD.
It says
I
Philadelphia.
maybe I-
had
is
it. Yeah.
Is it in full screen or is it widescreen? Because I can.
I don't remember. I haven't watched it in a
Yeah.
long time, but it's a great movie.
It's a banger of a movie.
Yeah. Yeah, he like sets up Denzel Washington big time, like has him drugs him up and pays some crack whore to like fucking basically rape him.
I haven't seen
And then
it
he
so long since
releases
it's
the
been a-
pictures to the media and shit. Like He destroys him in that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah, it's a damn.
Well, the
good movie.
version that's out there on the high seas is from a Laserdisc. That's why I asked.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I watched it from DVD like a long time ago.
It's been on
so I
streaming in places. It's popped up, but nobody's been able to nab it.
maybe that's how I
It's-
watched it. I don't.
And not only that, when it is on streaming, it's still cropped off
Oh,
because
that's
it's
a good
you
movie.
know,
I love that song
oh, it's
by
a great fucking flick.
that Ice-T song. Ice-T's in that movie.
Yeah, that one and Fallen are like Denzel's two movies that people sleep on all the time, and it's like, no,
Yeah.
you got to see those movies. You know what Fallen is, right? The one with John Goodman and all that stuff with the demon that jumps through bodies.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
That's a good movie. Who else was in that with him? It wasn't just John Goodman. There was another person in it too.
Oh, it's on. You can watch it with Cinemax.
Yeah,
If you- I just looked it up.
See, and that's the funny thing because like HBO, I think actually owns the rights to that movie. Yeah. So Cinemax, HBO, yeah.
I feel like there were a lot of movies like from that
Yeah,
era
this is like
that,
old school shit. Hold on.
that were left,
Oh,
like
yeah.
looked over.
Well, yeah, and then Denzel did one called The Mighty King that wasn't available for the longest time. Shit, they got light screen there, blockers.
Yeah, for this. It's just a music video. Banger song. Yeah.
That's for I think SVU.
It's weird seeing the movie in widescreen there,
Wow, that slapped. That was good.
That's a great song.
yeah. Ice-T
I love
used
that
to
song.
kick ass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he did.
Great
That-
rapper.
that
man.
was great with that. I never heard this movie. I'm gonna watch it.
Good movie. You
Fucking
should
old
watch
school
it.
rap was the bomb until Puff Diddy came around.
Like I don't think people realize how long Ice-T's been around, man. Like if
A
you
long
watch
time. He's in a
dude,
metal
watch
band
those
too.
breakdancing movies, man, those old breaking movies, and he was there in those movies.
Mm-hmm.
You ever
The
see?
guy had to be like 60 something.
Do you ever hear his metal band?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Body Count.
Body count, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Coolio was a lot older than people realized too, and that's like when he passed away, a lot of people were surprised.
Yeah, Coolio was hella old, man.
Yeah, he was like in his 30s already by the time he got big. Yeah.
Mr. Berger for 20 says everything this bloated lawyer says is bullshit. All you do is quote the mainstream line. Whoa, we don't like you, Sean. You talk like you have authority, but you are just pair it MSN bitch closet liberal.
Yeah. Huh.
Why do you hate Sean?
I don't know. I mean, I don't like talking about throwing comics out of helicopters all the time, but if we really want to, I mean, like we can. But like, little, just a little disagreement.
So Gene Hackman just went down a peg in my book because I just realized that he's in Twilight.
We can't hate
What?
the man for taking off.
He
his
was already
paycheck.
retired before that even came out.
He also was in Ants. I didn't.
The
what-
Twilight you're thinking of is a totally different movie,
Is
Rhino.
it?
Yes. You dumbass.
I don't understand why Mr. Berger doesn't like Sean. What happened there?
I don't know.
Sean?
I have no idea.
I don't
mean-
think you've said anything MSN.
I don't know. I mean, you want me to say like, do you want Kiev Glass, Mr. Berger? I don't know what you want me to say. So, but yeah, I thought you guys were talking about like that Twilight, but there's another movie called Twilight.
Yes, this was from like the 80s or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it good?
Gene Hackman's been in like over
Actually,
100
there's a
fucking
date on
movies.
this. 1998.
Yeah, he was already way
Oh yeah,
gone
that's
by
way before the
that
vampire.
is way
bullshit.
Yeah,
before.
yeah. He retired in like 2003 or 4. His last movie was that one with Ray Romano. He's like, this shit, I'm out of here.
He did a movie called.
I almost
Under
thought you were going to
Suspicion.
say Ray DeVito.